During renovations in a recently purchased house, a large sum of money is found hidden in the wall, only for two masked men to show up immediately. They take the workers hostage, but thanks to the actions of Police Inspector He-Fei, the situation is brought under control. Trying to figure out who the money belongs to, He-Fei decides to track down the house's previous owner. But in a strange coincidence, the man suddenly kills himself just before the police arrive. At this point, it becomes clear that none of this is just a random accident. In China, everything related to law enforcement is strictly regulated, but writer Lu Chen himself works in the police force, so he understands better than most what can be written about in his books, and what should be subtly hinted at, disguised, or left out entirely. His novel, Black and White Bounded, was published in 2019 and is partially based on real police cases. Its film adaptation, in turn, is partially based on the novel. Many details were changed, most likely due to censorship requirements. So, what do we end up with? A perfectly average police procedural where the characters interview witnesses, gather evidence, and piece together facts step by step to uncover the real villains. On the surface, there's nothing special about it, but Black and White Bounded has a few elements that stand out more than usual for the genre. For example, some key breakthroughs happen purely by coincidence, and much of the investigative team's work consists of sitting around a table, verbally recapping what the audience already knows, and then making another assumption, which of course turns out to be correct. That said, credit where it's due. The story is told in a lively and engaging way, the pacing never drags, and the actors, despite being relatively unknown, handle their roles well. Unlike many police films, the cops here aren't just blank functions. The protagonist has friends and a sick sister whose treatment he needs to pay for, which helps keep the audience invested. On the other hand, Black and White Bounded doesn't have much action, just a couple of short fistfights. The first one is particularly baffling. The brave officer He-Fei arrives as a negotiator to deal with two criminals holding hostages, only to immediately start beating them up. Meanwhile, the second criminal, who's standing farther away with a shotgun, doesn't even think to use it. Instead, he just waits his turn and then charges at He-Fei in hand-to-hand combat, while still holding the gun. Even though He-Fei's boss later scolds him for this improvisation, the whole scene comes off as bizarre from every possible angle. A cop who risks hostages' lives for no good reason isn't exactly a role model.